Black Ops Narrative, Season 2, Act 22, Dead Letter. The envelope didn't feel like paper. It felt like a weight that changed the gravity in every room. Reyes kept it sealed as they moved through service alleys, fenced corridors, and the wet labyrinth behind the port where cameras were either blind or complete. The rain softened footprints but amplified sound. Every chain link fence became an instrument. Every drop off metal edge sound like a countdown. They regrouped in the maintenance bay half a mile inland. No official lights, just a hanging bulb, an oil stain on the concrete, and the smell of old electrical fire. Torres leaned against the tool chest, breathing through his nose like he was keeping anger from escaping his mouth. Cruz sat on the overturned bucket, eyes still alive with contact, still calculating, exit still while still. Bishop stood in the back shadow where the lights died, calm, still, watching the whole space like it was a map only he could read. Reyes placed the sealed envelope on the table, made from 2 seahorses and a steel sheet. Nobody touched it. Lena arrived 10 minutes later, not with drama, with inevitability. She stepped inside wearing a rain-dark jacket, hair pinned tight, eyes scanning the room like she'd already run in probabilities of each person's posture. She didn't ask if anyone was hurt. She looked at Torres' stance, Cruz's stillness, and the way Bishop Waite sat on his heels, and she knew. Her gaze found the envelope. Dead letter, she asked. Reyes didn't like the calmness in her voice. It made the whole thing feel planned. He nodded once. They wanted it in her hands. Lena walked closer but didn't reach for it. Then it's not a message. It's a tool, Bishop said from the shadows. Cruz exhaled. Or a trap with good handwriting. Torres grunted like he wanted the trap to show itself so he could hit it with a hammer. Reyes finally broke the wax seal. The sound was small, just a short crack of hardened wax, but it sucked the oxygen out of the room away, like opening it made the story real. Inside was not a letter, not a manifesto, not a threat. It was a ledger, thin pages, tight print, and the kind of formatting you only see in the institution that killed people with paperwork. Columns, dates, locations, outcomes. Bishop leaned in just enough to read without touching. His eyes moved like he was tracking bullets. Torres frowned. The hell is that? Lena didn't answer right away. She watched Reyes' face instead. Reyes turned the page, and his jaw tightened. Post-strike, modeled response. Civilian tolerance, window, 72 hours. Probable escalation if disruptor engages, high. Recommended countermeasure, hunters. Contact tests. Objective, capture response signature. Reyes felt his throat drop. They hadn't attacked him because they hated him. They'd attacked him because they wanted to test him. He flipped further. Reyes, behavioral profile updated. Preliminary driver, responsible. Second driver, controlled through action. Decision, entitlement under civilian risk. Lena's eyes narrowed. That line wasn't an analysis, it was a diagnosis. And it was accurate enough to feel like someone had stand in the room with Reyes his whole life. Torres leaned closer, face hardening. They've got a file on you like you're a weapon. Reyes didn't look up. That's exactly what they think I am. Bishop's voice stayed calm, but there was something colder under it now. It's just him. Reyes turned the page. There were other names, not always theirs, sometimes just roles, sometimes just placeholders. Heavy, kinetic output threshold. Overwatch, pattern risk recognition. Disruption, escalate catalyst probability. Lena's mouth tightened. They modeled routine. Cruz muttered, so we're not people, we're variables. Reyes stared at the paper under the words. Season 1 had been an AI architect that threatened the world like simulation. This was worse. This was humans using the same logic and doing it with intent. Lena stepped closer, but her voice stayed steady. But the edge was there. The AI system is gone, Reyes, but the mindset survived. You hit the machine and left the doctrine intact. Reyes looked at her. You didn't think I didn't know that? Lena held his gaze. Then why didn't you open it? Because I needed to see how they see me. He didn't say it out loud. He didn't need to. Bishop broke the tension by speaking into the reality like it was a ledger too. Question, he said. Who delivers this? Why not just kill us? Cruz answered without looking up. Fear. Lena shook her head slightly. No, fear is loud. This is quieter. Reyes flipped to the last page. At the bottom of the single entry typed differently, like it had been inserted later. Dead letter protocol, active. If delivery confirmed, initiate second action. Target, infrastructure, method, plausible, internal, failure. Reyes felt something settle in his stomach, like a stone finding the bottom of the water. They're not coming for our bodies, he said. Torres' eyes lifted. Then what are they coming for? Reyes looked at the words again. Trust structure. He exhaled. They're coming for the things that keep us from killing each other in the dark. They didn't say in the maintenance bay, not because they were afraid, because they were smart. They moved to a new location Lena had prepped weeks ago, an abandoned shipping office building above the closed logistic yard, windows dark, stairwell silent, and an old server closet still wired to power through forgotten line. A place built for invisibility. Lena called it a clean room, but Reyes could feel the lie in the name. A room didn't stay clean if you brought war into it. They set up fast. Bishop took under the floor, overwatched through the cracked glass of the shadow. Cruz moved through the building like he was testing for ghosts. Torres dragged the battered table into the center and sat on it like a man keeping his hands from shaking. Reyes watched him. Your shoulder, Reyes said quietly. Torres barked half, I got two. Reyes didn't smile. Torres' humor was getting darker, shorter, like the jokes were running out of oxygen. Lena powered up the old equipment, her fingertips moving surgical speed. Listen, she said, the ledger isn't only a threat. Reyes stared at her. Don't. It's an insight into assumptions, she continued anyway. They believe you will respond in a certain way if they change the response signature. You mean if I stop being me, Reyes cut in? Lena looked at him, calm and unblinking. I mean if you stop being predictable. Silence in the room. Bishop's voice came down from above. A quiet inter-vehicle outpost, unmarked, slowing, not lost. Cruz appeared in the doorway like he had been waiting for that line. We've burned already. Torres stood. The movement was stiff. Pain disguised as readiness. Reyes stared at the ledger again. Target, trust structure. They weren't there to kill Reyes. They were there to make Reyes choose wrong, to make his grip tighten up, override the team, and demand obedience, and fracture the unit. Reyes folded the ledger and slid it into the bag. He didn't want it to be on the table where it could infect the room. He looked at Lena. Tell me what you think I'll do, he said. Lena didn't hesitate. They'll think you'll take control. You'll decide alone. You'll move first. Reyes nodded slowly. The words hit like a mirror. He looked at Torres, then Cruz, then Bishop in the shadows above. Then we do the opposite, Reyes said. Torres' eyes narrowed. The opposite meaning what? Wait, hold hands? Reyes didn't react to the sarcasm. He kept his voice flat and controlled. The opposite means shared decisions. It means we don't chase. We don't react. We make them spend resources to get information. Cruz's lip twitched. So we become boring? Boring gets old, Bishop said from above. Old stays alive. The unmarked vehicle stopped outside. Doors didn't slam, no shouting, no flashlight, just the soft sound of something being placed near the entrance. Then the vehicle drove away, slow, confident, like it didn't need to hurry. Cruz moved first, silence down the stairwell, checking angles. Torres followed, heavy and ready. Reyes went behind them, Lena close enough to hear the breathing. At the ground entry floor, Cruz found it, a package, a brown paper no markings, no address, no returns, no wires, no signatures. Cruz looked back, too clean. Reyes stared at it. He didn't touch it. Lena stepped beside him and said quietly, almost to herself, dead letter protocol. Torres' jaw clenched. Open it. Reyes didn't move. Bishop's voice came through comms. If it's a device, it's meant to do something, make you react. Cruz crouched, gloved fingers hovering. So, what's the next move? Reyes felt the old instinct urge, decide to act and control. He swallowed it. He looked at Lena. You open it. Torres turned his head fast. What? Lena's eye flickered to Reyes, then the package. For a fraction of a second, something human flashed there. Concern, irritation, respect, maybe all of the braided together. Then it's gone. She crouched, carefully peeled the tape, folded the paper back. Inside was not a bomb, not a weapon, not even a message. It was a phone, old model, cheap, no apps, no polish. A single printed photo, face down. Lena turned to the photo. Everyone leaned in without meaning to. The picture showed a dot worker's body in a drain ditch, eyes open, mouth slain, rain pool collecting his collar. The same man who delivered the ledger. Torres crushed under his breath and quiet. Cruz stared at the empty for a second. Reyes felt his gut tighten. Under the photo was one sentence typed to the ledger. This is what it means to messengers. Then the phone vibrated. Once, a call came in. No call ID. Lena looked up to Reyes. They want you to answer. Reyes didn't reach for it. He stared at the dead man's eyes in the photo. A messenger killed because he touched the truth. A messenger delivered not to inform, but to shape behavior. Bishop's voice came low and precise. If you answer, they'll learn your voice, your cadence, your choices. Torres stepped forward, anger bleeding into readiness. Let me. Reyes raised his hand. He didn't look away from the phone. The phone vibration stopped. Then it started again, longer, insistent, a third time, like the caller wasn't asking, like the caller was reminding him, we decide when you feel pressure. Reyes finally spoke, voice control. Put it on speaker, he said. Lena's eyes narrowed. You sure? Reyes didn't answer her question because he wasn't sure. He was choosing anyway. Lena tapped the button. The line connected. For a moment, there was silence, then a voice, not distorted, not theoretical, not loud, a human voice, calm enough to be terrifying. You received the leather? The voice said. No introduction, no name, just confirmation, like checking on a delivered receipt. Reyes kept his voice flat. You killed the courier? A pause. Correct, the voice said. Messages create uncertainty. Reyes felt Torres shift behind him like a dog straining at a leash. Lena's expression didn't change, but her eyes sharpened. The voice continued. You're a disruptor. Disruptors believe they have morals because they act. Reyes didn't respond. The voice lowered slightly, as if leaning closer to the phone. Your team is loyal. Loyalty is expensive. We will raise the price. Lena's jaw tightened. Reyes spoke carefully. Who are you? A soft exhaled on each other. Then, I'm part of the consortium that speaks when silence stops working. Bishop's voice, barely audible, came through the comms interface. The caller continued. You exposed the system. Now you learn what pressure buys you. Reyes felt the pulse slow, not from the calm, but from the discipline. What do you want, he asked. Another pause just came long enough to make the room feel watched. Then the voice said something that hit Reyes like a cold hand on a spot. I want you to choose, he said. Choose what? The voice almost gentle now. Your ethics, he said, or your people. The line went dead. No dramatic sign-off, no threat, just a click of a system ending a call when it was done speaking. Lena stared at the phone like it had left fingerprints. Torres breathed through her nose, anger so tight that it almost silenced. Cruz looked at Reyes as if he was wanting old Reyes to appear, the one who would decide, move, then pull in motion. Bishop's voice came from calm to above. They got what they wanted, he said. Reyes didn't look up. What? Bishop answered, landed like a blade laid carefully on the table. They planted a choice inside of us. Reyes stared at the phone again. Dead messenger, clean phone. A voice came without a name. A war without a face, suddenly using a face as a tool. He felt the flaw rise again, responsibility giving him the right to choose. He looked at Lena. For a moment, the cleaning room felt smaller, not because of the walls, but because the enemy had placed between them. Reyes spoke quietly, controlled. We don't make the choice yet, he said. Torres barked short, laughter, bitter. They already did. Reyes lifted the ledger bag and slung it over his shoulder. No, he said. They think they did. He looked at his team, at the lines forming, at the trust structure creaking. He felt the war rearranging their lives like an invisible hand. Then he said the only thing that mattered now, next move is ours. And outside, down the street, something detonated. Small, distant, but timed. Not loud enough to be an accident, not close enough to be random, but just enough to say, we're already moving. Reyes turned toward the stairwell. Bishop, he said, eyes up. Cruise, map exit. Torres' voice came through. Yeah. Reyes looked at Lena's last. Not romantic, not soft, just real. Tell me where you think you'll hit next, he said. Lena stared at the ledger bag, then at the dead messenger photo, then at Reyes, and she said very quietly, it cost her something to speak. They're going to hit the one place you can't armor. Reyes held her gaze. And what's that? Leah's eyes didn't blink. Your certainty. And the lights in the building flickered once, like the power grid somewhere had just touched by an unseen hand.